Who the CGA applies to. The CGA, also known as the Consumer Guarantees Act, applies to all people consuming a good or service that are not using them to produce another good or used in the production of their own good. Definition of a consumer. Consumers are parties, e.g. people or organizations, who purchase products or services. These parties then do not later sell the purchased products or services and are the end users in the distribution chain of goods and services. However, consumers are not always the buyer.
Businesses must sell goods and services that are fit for their described use and purpose. The 6 listed categories clearly outline what deems products and services fit. If a product does not satisfy the customer can take steps in ensuring the product they bought performs like it should. This is also the same with services. Businesses, in many cases, must take measures to rectify customers' dissatisfactions. These measures will be discussed next. The Consumer Guarantees Act protects customers by allowing them to seek repairs, replacements, or refunds when goods are faulty. It sets minimum guarantees that apply to all products and services. All parties have to meet their outlined responsibilities under the CGA. This means if you have a problem with a product or service, there are options available to ensure that you, as the customer, are satisfied with your purchase. The CGA applies to new or second-hand goods supplied by businesses within New Zealand. This includes all kinds of personal property, including software, animals, plants, and minerals.
If you are a consumer, it is very unlikely you are able to contract out of the Consumer Guarantee Act. It's fair or reasonable that parties are bound by the provision in the agreement. However, it's easier to sue for damages from supplier if you provide products or services that are usually for personal or household use to other businesses. Consumer Guarantee Act requirements typically apply, but you may be able to contract out of this law. Contracting out means a written agreement that a business does not have to meet the requirements of a specified act. If it's only done verbally or contracting out is not mentioned, therefore, Consumer Guarantee Act applies.
The practical consequences of the CGA for business practices is huge. They are unable to take shortcuts, rip the customer off, or deliver products at unreasonable standards. Suppliers of goods, as a result, will need to take care that their product is quality checked and suitable for the purposes it is sold for. This means higher costs of production, a higher duty of care for items that are sold to consumers, as well as overall better products for consumers. All of this stems from the CGA and ensures that goods are provided to reasonable standards. Another practical consequence is much more specification of goods to ensure there is no misunderstanding. Due to the Act stating that goods must be fit for purpose they are commonly supplied for, it is important the use of a product is clear and not able to be misinterpreted. The other part of this are service suppliers, which must ensure their services are of a reasonable standard. Practically speaking, this means hiring standards of those performing the work must be high to ensure qualification. Workers will be working faster to have work done in a reasonable time frame. This holds service businesses to a particular standard, changing the way they operate and making sure they hold the same duty of care as if they were selling any other product. Should you break the CGA, your business will be liable for the product that does not perform its use and possibly much more under the consequential loss aspect of the Act. Should the product sold cause damage that has a clear link to being caused by said product, you will also be liable for any damages that may be caused. For example, in the case of A&W Holdings and Hoskin, the manufacturer of the product that caused a fire was liable for the damage as well as the housing required while repairs on the house were in progress. With such huge liability, small to medium-sized businesses must be careful regarding their product's quality.